We dig into the geopolitical news of the week, of the month. Of course, the narrative continues to build about the Red Sea. And, of course, Houthi rebels been seen to be attacking certain vessels. And it basically redirecting, we understand now, half of all container ship fleets now currently no longer going through the Red Sea. They're avoiding the route. This is according to new industry data that overall is one that we can probably corroborate with our next guest. We're pleased to welcome to the show Anton Posner, who's CEO of Mercury Resources. And you're all about negotiating skills. You're about professionals from an industry basis helping you plot out your dry cargo issues. When you are looking at such a difficult supply chain management conundrum, what do you advise at this moment, Anton?
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. So at this point, it's a lot of wait and see in what's happening with the international coalition. We are partners at Ifcor Galbraith and Mallory Alexander on the container side. It's right now a lot of hand-holding with our client base on the commodities sector to guide them through what's happening in the markets at this point. So we're seeing, of course, increased freight, increased insurance, a lot of uncertainty and mixed signals from ship owners, container lines, and from governments on what's happening to basically mitigate the risk and the threats that are out there from these Yemeni armed groups.
I mean, yeah, talk to us about some of the mitigation of the risks. The fact the U.S. Navy is leading this military partnership. You are out there talking to the brokers, the shippers, the governments, the port authorities. Mm-hmm. Do they take this as some sort of easing of concern, or are they still wanting to hold back?
Yeah, we're seeing some easing of concern. Ship operators on the container side, like Maersk, CMA, CGM, are starting to signal a return to going into the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. Some ship operators on the container side, like Hapag-Lloyd, are still holding back and not even announcing any kind of return to that market. On the dry bulk side, which is a huge part of our business, dry bulk commodities, ship owners right now, it's naturally a time of year where where things have slowed down. So we're seeing ship owners on the dry bulk side diverting ships that are already en route and rating new cargoes for January, February timing is more of a let's see what happens after New Year's and what's happening on the side to on the news to mitigate what's happening there with the military response. So, of course, we've seen the Navy move the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower into the Gulf of Aden and off the Yemeni coast. This 20-nation coalition that the United States announced is seemingly coming together, but there's been some hesitancy from a couple of, some of the U.S. allies, and some nations have been reluctant to even put their name attached to it yet. So definitely still some concerns and not a lot of comfort.
Anton, who ultimately decides whether a ship does transit the Red Sea and the Suez? Is it the insurance company, the ship owner, maybe the captain himself or herself? I mean, who really at the end of the day makes that decision?
Yes, yes, and yes, okay. Right? It's a very much a combined situation. Ultimately, the master of the ship, the captain of the ship, has the ultimate say, right? But they're taking instructions from the ship owner. But in this situation, really in all situations regarding commercial and merchant shipping, you have many layers on top, right? You have the ultimate ship owner, the company that owns the ship. You have the master that has ultimate responsibility for the ship. And then you have the ship operator, the company that's often time chartering the vessel and has some say over it. So it's very much a combined decision. So even if a ship owner wants to order that ship to transit through the Suez Canal and the Red Sea, if the master is not comfortable, right, the master can basically say, we're not taking her through.